Hey everybody, it's the one and only James Rule, XRP. Saturday evening, a quick video. I got some late breaking news. We're going to have a good time. I tell you what, this morning I went and helped my buddy who lives, 30 minutes away, set up a Caleb and Brown account. He has a substantial amount of digital assets. He's really excited. He's done really well, and he is looking for an exit strategy. So what you could do if you want to check out my sponsors and links, click on my link tree below and learn about all these services. Tell them James Rule XRP sent you back. We're not going to look at the numbers. We're going to look at something I found out today. And we have a bunch of smartasses in the XRP community that say this is bullshit. Show me proof, blah, blah, blah. Well, I do have confirmation from an undisclosed source. I promised them that I would not mention their names, that Elon Musk does in fact hold XRP. And some out there are like, well, he's had it since the inception of PayPal. Like Karma Coverage says, well, you know that the Founders Fund, the PayPal guys, were some of the first money in Ripple Labs. And here's Mac Attack doing Trump holding an XRP coin. And some people agree. And some people are like, you're full of shit. You're just saying that just to get clickbait. Nope. I have confirmation, and I've actually spoke to somebody that works with Elon Musk at SpaceX, that he does, in fact, hold XRP. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO at Ripple, was interviewed by BBC. And here is a short clip of that interview. And Brad Garlinghouse talks about regulation. He talks about owning XRP is not owning part of Ripple, the company. So many people out there in news articles call it Ripple's XRP. No, Ripple is a company that you could buy shares of pre-IPO, and XRP is a digital asset on a decentralized ecosystem that is independent of Ripple. Check it out.
What's frustrating, I think, for the whole industry is that only Bitcoin and XRP really have the explicit regulatory clarity in the United States. Other leading cryptocurrencies like ETH and Solana have been a little bit in a fuzzy land. And it's really kind of maddening, and I think madness, to think we're going to litigate every single token one by one. We've been challenging the government, challenging the SEC to create clear rules of the road, as you've seen in the UK, as you've seen in Japan, where they've created taxonomies so that the regulation is clear. And people in the US crypto industry want to follow the rules. We just have to have clarity about what the rules are.
And Brad, talk to us more about clarity that you need in regulation. What more in particular would you like to see?
Well, I think the key thing is the SEC under Gary Gensler has tried to take the position that most cryptocurrencies are securities. Securities, as I think many people know, the law, it's about rights and title and ownership of a company. If you own a security in Apple, you own part of the company. You have governance rights. You can vote on the board of directors. That obviously doesn't exist. If you own XRP, if you own ETH, if you own different cryptocurrencies, you're not getting the rights and title and interest of a security. So the key really is creating that clarity that the SEC is not the regulator that's trying to kind of own this industry. And they've really been trying to do regulation through enforcement rather than codifying and taking the time to write clear rules of the road.
Yes, and 2025 is going to be amazing because we're going to get some regulatory clarity. We're going to get people in office that know what blockchain technology is, and they're not going to stifle this technology like Gary Gensler has done. Here's an article from CoinDesk. Here's how quickly Gary Gensler could lose his SEC chair gig under Trump. This is written by Helene Braun. Thank you very much at CoinDesk. It says, with the crypto-friendly Donald Trump being elected president, industry leaders are now waiting for his first big move, which could be appointing a new chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. There's Gary Gensler. Eesh. One of President-elect Donald Trump's many promises is to fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new chair to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission can happen as soon as January 20 the day of his inauguration. Gensler, for example, took office less than 11 weeks after being appointed by President Joe Biden on February 3rd, 2021. Gensler could also step down before Trump takes office, in which case the Democratic Party would appoint an interim chair until Donald Trump takes place. Check it out. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's many endorsements from crypto leaders such as the Winklevoss twins, Mark Andreessen, Ryan Selkis, they didn't mention Ripple, just to name a few, were the result of the real estate mogul's many promises to support the expansion and continued development of the digital asset industry in the United States. Arguably, one of the most crucial promises Trump made to pull the crypto community onto his side was this: on day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. While he can't force Gensler to step down as a commissioner at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, he can name a new interim SEC chair as soon as he's inaugurated on January the 20th. He can also nominate a new commissioner to the Senate, which has to confirm the pick. Given Republicans have retaken control of the Senate after flipping several seats during Tuesday's presidential election, Trump's pick would have a good chance of making it through the vote, and a new chair could take office within a few months. Gensler, for example, was nominated by current President Joe Biden on February 3rd, 2024, and confirmed by the Senate on April the 14th, which is my mom's birthday, and sworn into office on April the 17th. Gensler has made many enemies in the crypto sector due to his insistence that the agency has sufficient rules and regulation for the industry already, a status quo crypto leaders disagree with. One of the most fundamental differences is Gensler's insistence. One he shared with his predecessor, the Trump-appointed Jay Clayton, that most cryptocurrency transactions on centralized exchanges violate federal securities laws. I'm not going to read the rest. Regulation by enforcement. Gary Gensler calls everything a security. The banks are paying off Gary Gensler. The banks are paying off Elizabeth Warren. Blah, blah, blah. All the above. And Gary Gensler, you have to go, you little dick. Charles Hoskinson gave a speech today live on X. And he apologizes to the XRP community, and he also talks about working with regulators in Washington and actually going to Washington and making a change and demanding a level playing field. This is a 7-minute clip. I'm going to leave my video with this clip. Have a listen. Charles Hoskinson is the CEO and founder of Cardano, ADA. Have a listen, and I want everyone to have a great weekend because I told you so.
Good crypto policy probably will come in 2025. We'll get to that in a moment. But I'd like to apologize to the XRP community. You know, I can be the bigger man here. I can let it go and say I'm not going to speak ill of the community, the protocol, or anyone there. And I'd love to find ways to build bridges and work with them, just like we're building bridges and working with the Bitcoin ecosystem. There are many areas of potential collaboration that I could see, from midnight interoperability with Ripple up to and including perhaps participating in the stablecoin that the Ripple ecosystem has been creating. So I'd like to apologize to the XRP community. And then finally, I'd like to apologize to the Cardano ecosystem as a whole. It's been a difficult go. And as you've noticed, I've been a bit defensive and brittle, especially in responding to things that I thought were absolutely ridiculous allegations, where people say things that are just simply crazy. The cancer comment is the latest example, but there's been hundreds throughout the year, deserved or undeserved. I should be more compassionate and I should be more gentle with each and every one of you, because after all, you're part of this ecosystem and you deserve better. And I have to understand and appreciate that your knowledge and perspectives and viewpoints may not be as informed as they need to be, or may not be the same as mine. And while I sit as a CEO of an important company and I get daily briefs on pretty much every topic that are well-defined and well-resourced, the vast majority of people using Twitter and the vast majority of people participating in the cryptocurrency industry don't have that luxury. So why should I then assume that your context is the same as mine and make it personal? I shouldn't. And in some cases, I called people liars. I should have been more gentle and I should have been kinder about this. And I wasn't. So I'd like to apologize to all of them. You see, it's been a hard go, and I think you guys have seen it throughout the years. There's been a great burden that I've carried for a long time, and I look older and older every day, but I feel a lot younger today. I really do. I've been able to let go of a lot of those burdens, and I've been able to think a lot about the future. The reason I created Cardano was because I wanted to leave something behind that made the world a better place for everybody, everywhere. I didn't care where you're born, what language you speak, the culture you belong to, your politics. Regardless of how crazy I think they are, it's not my place to judge. What I wanted to do was create a safe space for the economic, political, and social systems of the world to be able to build and flourish in a way that are beyond reproach. I wanted to move to a world where we go from don't be evil to can't be evil by design, so we can begin to trust each other again, and through trust we can make progress again as a society. Now here's the reality. We have achieved enormous technological strides with Cardano. We have laid a foundation that if we continue to invest in and build, will be here for generations to come. And this technology as a whole will allow every single participant in the Cardano ecosystem and all the people related, and everybody, regardless they build on it or not, to enjoy something that I truly believe can make a difference in the way you vote, the way your money works, the way nation states work, and ultimately the way business ought to be done in the 21st century. And while we have made enormous technological strides, we have yet to make the equivalent strides in growth and adoption. And that's something that we all have to focus on. So when we look to 2025 in particular, I think we as an ecosystem can make enormous strides in becoming the DeFi layer for Bitcoin. I think we can make enormous strides in utilizing the budget processes of Cardano, however difficult it may be to get one passed and what compromises have to be made to allow us to fund and grow the vital entities within the Cardano ecosystem to get us where we need to go. There's going to be a lot of strategies that come out over the next 3 to 6 months that are going to require an enormous amount of attention, care, and discipline and rigor to execute. I'm going to be involved in those, and I'm here to fight because I want to see this technology in every home. I want to see this technology running every nation state, and I want to see this technology on every single cell phone, working with every person in the world, because everybody deserves to have a solid foundation for truth to grow and foster a better relationship with others and have people have faith in each other again. But we're going to have to earn that. And that's what 2025 is going to be about. Second, a large part of my time in 2025 will also be devoted to the political process. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time working with lawmakers in Washington, D.C., and quite a bit of time working with members of the administration to help foster and facilitate with other key leaders in industry the crypto policy. We have to do this and we have to get it done. There's a very high probability that the Republicans will control not only the Senate and the presidency, but also the Congress, the House. And in the process of doing so, this is the best opportunity we have ever had in the history of the industry to get clarity for our industry and remove the sort of Damocles that the SEC has reigned over the Cardano ecosystem, Ripple ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, reigned over Solana, reigned over all the major ecosystems, and actually including Bitcoin in many respects, despite the ETF approvals. None of us signed up to have companies like BlackRock dictate to the United States what the crypto policy should be. The crypto policy should be written by the American people, the American crypto industry, and by well-meaning lawmakers who are willing to take the time to listen. So we will establish at Input Output a policy office, and we're going to begin staffing that office, moving some personnel around, and hopefully by January we can begin to participate in that process and work with certain key leaders in certain key positions and get to a point where we can hybridize many of the proposals, including FIT 21, including the Lummis bill, the FIA, and other such things, so that we can get a bipartisan bill passed that will give us absolute clarity of when things are securities and commodities, help us navigate the often tumultuous and chaotic waters of DeFi, and get us to a point where we can get back to business. No one in this industry has asked for a subsidy or a bailout. No one in this industry has asked for special rules or special treatment. All we've asked is to be left alone and be able to build our businesses and create trillions of dollars of value and millions of jobs for the American people.